Hello, this is going to be a review of Kidzania, where we went with the family just this last Friday, gone last out of half term. And the reason why I'm doing this review is because, as home educators, Kidzania gave the opportunity to do some fun interactive learning that I think fits within quite well the category of what education should be, which is not restricted to a classroom. That learning can be fun, it can be creative, and it can be imaginative. I was overall very, very pleased with Catania. There were a few negative things which I'll get into at the end, but just to tell you a little bit about it, it's at the Westfield Centre in Shepherd's Bush and very easily accessible by tube. It's about 5 minutes from Shepherd's Bush Station. Uh, you go into the Westfield Centre, and it's above Marks and Spencers in the main building. Very noticeable by the part of the British Airways Aeroplane that's sort of like sticking out of the wall. And so, anyway, we have a 5-year-old and an 11-year-old, which I've mentioned before in previous videos. And so there was obviously going to be different things that we were going to be looking for both of them. They're a bit different interests, so there was different things they were going to explore. Queuing up isn't so bad, providing you printed off your tickets. If you get your tickets in advance, you meant to get there 15 minutes early. And there's a short queuing period before you go into the main part of Kidzania itself. And then you're presented with, because it's sponsored by British Airways, and because the concept of Kidzania is traveling to a country where kids are in charge. So you're given like a massive check-in desk simulation where you queue. And the queue when we went there was last half term, as I've said, and it did seem quite big. However, they dealt with that really well because they had members of staff interspersed throughout the queues, and they would give you things that were necessary for your journey. For example, they would give you the hairnets for some of the creative tasks. They would put the bracelets on you, so that when you did finally arrive at check-in to get your Kidzania money and to have your wristbands activated, it wasn't actually that much of a big deal. It wasn't that much of a big rate. The wristbands are really cool. Each member of your group gets one. They're all linked together. Children cannot leave the site without an adult. The wristband will prevent them from doing so. And also, if you do get if you do lose each other, the wristbands will connected and they're able to chip up and find out where you are. So you're presented with a map, and they tell you that there are 60 different locations within Kidzania that you can visit. And they explain to you that because there's a short queuing time, sometimes 10 to 15 minutes, and because each activity takes between 15 minutes to say 45 minutes, it's not possible to see more than say 4 to 6 activities while you're there. So to either have an idea before you go what you and your children are going to want to do, or once you're there to just look at the map, plan and say, okay, we're going to go X, Y, and Z, and do that rather than wandering around and losing time. They are very strict on their time. They once you get a 4 hour period, and once you get to the end of that 4 hour period, they send you over a recorded message asking you to leave. So you do have to make best use of your time. I'll talk about what each of our children did because of the different age groups. I can give you an idea of the different things that are available. But first, I'll tell you about my overall image of Catania when we went in. Was really, 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 really positive. It is literally like a mini city. There are a lot of people there, but it doesn't feel necessarily overcrowded. And they have literally, as I've said, there are 60 different uh, groups, activities, buildings, shops that you can indulge in. Each one of them is sponsored by a different company, and each one is set up as an almost exact replica of what the original would be in the real world. They even have little vehicles going around. They have a little tour bus going around. They have a little ambulance that the little paramedics can go and deal with situations on, fire engine and police vehicles, all sorts. What you do when you go in, your 50 Kidsania money that you're given is up to you then whether you spend or earn. Some of the activities you're going to spend the money for, and some you're going to get given money for. And the trick is to try and balance the two. So I'll start off with our son and what he wanted to do. The first thing he was completely taken by was the fire brigade, and they have a little fire engine, and it was really awesome. But the queue for that at the time was was one of the longer ones there, so we decided to come back for that and found a shorter queue where the police station was. And this was really, really fun for him. He once he went inside, he was photographed. He was given a video along with the 7 or 8 others in the group, and they do only let in like 7 or 8 at a time, so it's never really overcrowded. The kids get some real quality opportunities. And he was photographed. He was shown a video about community safety, about the role of police officers. He was given a little police uniform, and then they're told to go out on patrol. And so they go out on patrol with the member of staff who's the main police officer, and they're told there's an incident. And they rush to this incident, and it's a hotel that's on fire within Kidzania. So then they have to put up the police tape, cordon it off, push everybody back. A fire engine is let through. Little firemen come out and put out the real fire. Paramedics come through and deal with any casualties. They get back to the police station, and they get paid in Kidzania money for being a police officer, which is absolutely awesome. After that, we went upstairs, and upstairs they have for the smaller kids. They have like a mother care experience, an early learning center experience, but they also have a lot of their food and drink preparation shops upstairs where the kids can make various things. And our son decided that he wanted to make chocolate. You can also make wraps, smoothies, uh, nut bars, all sorts of things. But he wanted to make chocolate, and that is one that's sponsored by Cadbury's, and they've got a real replica little chocolate uh, making area in there. So you put your hairnet on, you put your hygienic clothes on. They explain to you then where chocolate comes from. They explain to you how chocolate is made, and you get the opportunity to make the chocolate. And that is absolutely fantastic for any kids that learn through doing creative things, because they learn about how the process of making chocolate is done. They learn about a little bit of geography, where the chocolate comes from, and they have some fun making the chocolate as well, which they then put into a fridge, and they're given a voucher to collect chocolate at the end of the day. Upstairs, they also have a dance academy, and they've got a media center as well, which is run by Al Jazeera, and you can get involved in being a TV journalist and producing the news and things like that up there, or you can do dancing as well if you don't want to do the food stuff. Downstairs, there's a mini stadium, a mini sports stadium. Now, our football addicted son was not going to let this pass by. And what they do is they take in children, 10 to 12 of them at a time. And the adults can actually go into this one. Normally, the adults are prevented from going into the various things that they're doing, the various activities. But this one, you can go into the stadium, you can sit on the seats. And they split the teams into two. First of all, they give them a warm up to keep them fit. They get them running around, having lots of energy, and then they put them into two teams of either 5 or 6 players, and they have a competitive football match. And that is awesome. They've got a little electronic scoreboard at the top, which shows the score. They count down, and it's really quite exciting. They divide them into red and blue, and our son's team won 3-2. It was a really close fought match, and he absolutely loved that. And that's fantastic if you've got kids that love running around, love burning off some energy, love getting engaged in any kind of sporting activities. That's absolutely fantastic. Following that, he decided that he was not going to give up on the fire engine deal at all. Um, so we managed to queue for that, and that is one of the more popular activities. And similar to the police one, that you are given a fire engine uniform. You're taught about the role of fire safety. You're taught about the role of the fire brigade. And then the alarm comes, and you'll jump in this fire engine, this little replica fire engine that is driven by one of the members of staff who's dressed up as a fireman as well. And you sit in the back, and you're driven through Kidzania in this fire engine, which is absolutely wicked. I wish I could shrink myself down and do that as well, and get to this hotel fire that I've mentioned earlier. The people that are playing police officers, they cordon it off, and the fire brigade come out, and they all get to take a hose that's attached to the side of the outside of the hotel, and they fire out real water at a real fire. They put the fire out. I mean, how cool is that for any child to get the opportunity to drive in a replica fire engine, dressed up as a fire officer, and put a fire out? So that was really, really, really amazing. Uh, Following that, something that both he and our daughter did together, which was go upstairs and visit the British Airways Aeroplane. And you get two options here. You can either be cabin crew or you can be a pilot. And they both decided that they want to be pilots. And they're given a little uniform, pilot's uniform, taken inside. You're not allowed to go inside. So this is anecdotal now, but you do see outside that they've got a real flight simulator. And our son and daughter both said that you put at the flight simulator, you learn to take off, you learn to fly, you learn to land, and the seats move around, so it gives the sensation of flying. So that was a really, really, really fun thing as well. That's the plane that juts out from the wall over to the Westfield Shopping Centre. Um, our daughter's 11 is incredibly into animation. She loves that so much. It's one of the things she's really passionate about, and we try and fit that into our personalised curriculum every week. And she went into the animation studio at Kidzania. If you've got kids that love computer design, animation, fiddling around with sort of programming and things like that, they will be absolutely intoxicated by this. It's a proper animation studio. It's where you get the opportunity to create your own Pokemon animation. And she would have gone back in that again and again and again, given the opportunity. Also, there for creative kids, they've also got a painting school as well, where you can make art. They have a dance academy, as I've said. They also have an acting academy where you get to be involved in putting on a play, and they've got a mini theatre where you can go and watch the play. And that takes up quite a bit of time. And our daughter does regular drama lessons anyway, so she wanted to sort of give that one a miss and concentrate on other things. She went then to a surgery where she got the opportunity. They have a little model there that is a sort of replicating a little human, and they were taught about surgical procedure, about aseptic technique. They get to scrub up, and then they performed a liver transplant on this dummy. And again, really, really good, informative, educational. You taught a bit about human anatomy. You taught about surgical procedure. You taught about aseptic technique. You taught about the role of surgeons and scrub nurses, and that's really, really, really brilliant. And then she went to a estate agents where she learnt about business practice, about how houses are put on the market, how they're sold, how to make money basically in the property market. And she enjoyed that, and she got a little replica card and a little replica business card for uh, for doing that. And then her making thing, she decided to make a smoothie, and the smoothie section is run by Innocent, and you get to put your hygienic gear on. You go in, you learn about the pasteurization process, you learn where the different ingredients come from, you learn how to make the smoothie. You get to mix the smoothie, make the smoothie, and then you're given a miniature Innocent smoothie as a result. And that was really, really, really good. As I've already mentioned, you can also make wraps. I think you can make ice cream as well. But the one she decided to make was the smoothie. And then they went to the pilot experience, and that was that. There are so many other things that they could have done that didn't get the opportunity to. There's a bank there as well where you get to learn about banking. There's parcel delivery where you can run around delivering parcels, and it's a really, really, really good day out. It is somewhere where you can go and you can learn. You can have fun. The kids can have fun. They can create. They can use their imagination. They can take part in real world activities and learn about different jobs, different careers, and also have a great deal of hell of a lot of fun doing so. However, I've got a couple of slight criticisms, which very hard considering how brilliant the actual thing was. First of all, is in terms of price ish. For a family ticket can cost around £80, and upwards, although they do discounts, which is a bit on the expensive side. However, you've got to weigh that up against things like theatre tickets and other sort of similar experiences. So it's value for money if you're gonna go and take it as a special opportunity, as a special day to go and have some fun, some learning fun, some creative fun. That's really good. The other criticism I have is that all the photographs that they take during the various events. when you leave, you go to immigration and you can pick up a passport. And the photographs are like £12 each or £50 for the passport, which if you have a few kids and you go in there, it's pretty excessive. And we skipped that and decided to rely on the photographs that we'd already taken and the little videos that we'd already taken. And the last criticism is that I'd mentioned that our son got given a Cadbury's voucher. So when he got to immigration, he's thinking, "Yay, I'm going to get a nice Cadbury's chocolate bar here for my hard work making chocolate." And he got one of those little miniature Cadbury's Heroes type things. And I think for the money that you pay to go in, and the fact they're getting free sponsorship from this because they're sponsoring their own little area, they could have at least given a small bar of chocolate. They didn't need to give a Cadbury's Hero sweetie. That was a little bit on the mean side, I thought. I would highly recommend, though, going to Kidzania. I would recommend it for anyone that uh, is not just home educating, but just anyone with kids for a fun day out. But if you are home educating, it's brilliant because you can choose to go not in half term if you don't want to. You can go anytime when it's less crowded and really savor the activities. And it's just a day full of learning and a day full of fun. So I hope you found my review informative, and I hope it's been of some use. Please leave some comments for us in the comments section, whether you've been to Kidzania maybe, and what you thought about it, whether you're thinking of going. And check out some of our other videos. You might find something interesting there. Good luck with your education journey, whether it's leading you. And thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Take care now. Bye.